there has never been a more important time to move in a vegan direction. Whether you're ready to start, restart, or re-energize your vegan or plant-based practice, this podcast is for you. I'm Michelle Olander, life coach, vegan, ADHD matriarch, travel lover, and smoothie loather. And I know that it's the details that get in the way of your vegan journey. But I like to believe that the obstacle is always the way. So every week we meet here where I translate the tools of life coaching and Stoic philosophy. I bring you actionable tips, some laughs, interesting guests, and vegan ideas for everyone at any age. All to help you veg your best. Episode 206, 3 reasons you're getting in your own vegan way. Hi, my veg your bestie. Welcome back. It's hot. Are these called the dog days of summer? Is that vegan to even use that term? Not sure. But today I want to give you a quick episode. And of course, every time I think it's going to be a quick podcast episode, it sometimes takes a bit or even a lot longer than I expect. But I am going to try and give you more of an outline episode today because I want to introduce an idea which we're going to be following through with this fall about 3 reasons you may find yourself not being able to follow through with your plans to move in a vegan or plant-based direction. Now, first off, I want to draw your attention to the words that I usually use, the words I typically use if you're new to the idea of a vegan or a plant-based direction. And the other term that I mostly use, I in a way prefer using it, whether you're new to the idea or not, is a vegan practice or a plant-based practice. And I know a lot of you do yoga or have done yoga or know people who do yoga and you are in some way yoga adjacent. And that's a word I think we're used to hearing with the term yoga practice, a yoga practice. Or sometimes we talk about a creative practice because, of course, there's no yoga final destination, right? And there's no creative, you have arrived. And of course, there are things that become easier or take shape or transform or become more second nature. But with yoga, with creative practices, there's no there. A practice means a focus on some level of showing up in some certain manner, in some kind of regular way. It's not like you ever get so good at yoga that you stop doing any yoga, and you don't get so creative that you stop doing creative things. Other things I think are comfortable routinely using the term practice with are a law practice or a medical practice. Sure, you might have your law degree or you might pass the bar. You might get your medical degree or pass your board certification in a particular specialty. But practicing law, practicing medicine, this is a day-to-day way of showing up in the world and hopefully showing up with more skill and nuance and leadership across time as the years go by and you intersect with the real world. By refining your knowledge and your communication, and how else do we practice? By being challenged by the day-to-day things that show up in your practice. The people, the relationships, the changes in the economy and in the world, changes in seasons and in your own time of life as a yoga practitioner, as a creative, as a healthcare provider, as a legal expert. And so I'd like you to have that comfort of that term of practice when you think about your vegan journey. or someone else's vegan journey that you're feeling a little bit critical of, that you're thinking, well, they're really not making that much progress. I think because vegan and plant-based is primarily practiced through our food choices, certainly not entirely, but with a lot of day-to-day practice in the choices of food, the concepts are very often contaminated. Is that too strong a word? The concepts of vegan and plant-based are very often contaminated by a lot of the thinking around contemporary diet culture. And contemporary diet culture is, I think you could also use that word, contaminated by a tremendous amount of focused attention by people trying to separate you from your money. 10 pounds in 8 weeks, low carb, high carb, keto, paleo, belly fat, gain muscle. And this is really not what a vegan practice is like. And if you're someone who's listening to this podcast, it's probable that you resonate in some way with limiting or even eliminating the consumption of animal products. But we all know that some of us struggled or even still struggle with the follow-through of that kind of a lifestyle. On the plan to practice not buying or eating or consuming animals and the things that come from them. We make plans, we learn distinctions, we learn ideas, and then we don't follow through with them. Maybe we decide no more meat or leather or down feathers or dairy, and then our actions just don't follow through on those decisions. And after a while, that pattern of thinking, that pattern of making a decision and letting ourselves down again and again on big things and on little things, many of us tend to stop making plans altogether because we have so lost belief. We're so scared of disappointing ourselves again or embarrassing ourselves or decreasing our self-trust even further. And if you've listened to a lot of Veg Your Best over the last 205 episodes or whatever this is at the heart of everything we do here. Because I know it's true. It can be challenging to move in a vegan direction in this world, especially at first. But even as you grow in your practice, it can still be challenging because there are so many moving parts. The world is changing. The marketplace is changing. Ideas are changing. Economies are changing. There are a lot of moving parts, and there's no gold medal. There's no degree. There's no universal acclaim of perfection that you can achieve. And that is what I think makes this one of the most beautiful practices you can develop. One of the most beautiful practices you can build. Choosing to do less harm. Choosing to underwrite more sustainability and more compassion on a daily basis. Choosing to remind yourself every day, maybe multiple times a day, what it is you're paying for and what you are normalizing in your life and in the life of your family. To veg your best. It's not only taking part in a system that opts out of industrial animal agriculture and all that means to the animals and to the environment and to our health system, but it also means building a practice of intentionality in your day-to-day life. And this is one of the most valuable but also unexpected benefits of a vegan way of life. So in the next few weeks, I want to be talking to you about the three main reasons. In a way, it's two main reasons, but the three main reasons I see people struggling to follow through on their plans to build a vegan or plant-based practice. And those are the same 2/3 main reasons that get in the way of anything we want, but we find ourselves struggling with. 3 reasons. First one is over-planning. Second one is under-planning. And the third one is is it a different reason? It's a kind of cycle between the two. Over planning, not being able to keep up with it, and under planning, then not making any progress, and then over planning, and then eventually giving up. Over planning, under planning, and then cycling between the two. And it matters. It really matters, I think, not just because there are important things we all want to do, and not just because there are ethical and environmental and health consequences that we all want to impact in some way, and not because we just have professional or creative or advocacy that we want to be part of. The reasons that get in the way of your vegan practice are the same things that get in the way of everything and anything else you want to do. And the consequence is not just that we don't make that impact or see the results that we want. The consequence is also that you don't believe in yourself, that you don't build the self-trust that you can definitely have, that you don't live a life where what you say is also backed up by what you do. And as I say, the reasons are we overplan, we underplan, or very often that we cycle between these two very self-defeating strategies. So that's the theme for the fall, which is coming right up. If you haven't looked at a calendar, it's coming right up. Meteorological fall is September 1st. And you know I consider September 1st the other New Year's. So we will be talking about underplanning, overplanning, and the dreaded boomeranging between these two strategies. And so your job this week, I would like you to look for any important part of your life where you're feeling some stuckness, you're feeling some resistance, where maybe you're feeling like, oh, you know what? I talked about that in the spring and it never happened. And notice, oh yeah, that's where I'm over planning. That's where I'm making this whole thing so complicated that I can't even keep it up. Or maybe you're thinking, for something that I've been saying it's important, I'm really under planning as if it's supposed to just happen. And remember, you're not wrong, you're not bad, you're not lazy, it's not ADD, it's not perfectionism, it's not entitlement, it's nothing but being human. How we move in a vegan direction, how we develop a plant-based practice, it's the same way we do any other worthy, challenging thing. So I hope that even if you consider yourself a level 5 vegan, that you're going to find lots of things to bring this awareness to in the next few weeks. Where are you getting in your own way by over-planning, complicating things and concentrating on things that you aren't even ready for yet without having built the foundations that you need? And where are you under-planning, thinking that if you were actually able to do it, the process would somehow feel effortless and organic and seamless? And of course, if you want to jump ahead and get started this fall with wherever you're stuck, you personally, one-on-one coaching is honestly, truly the most effective thing I have ever found, and I would be honored to be your coach. I do single session coaching and 8-week programs, but you never need to commit for long periods of time. It's either session by session or 8-week programs. I find those, I think, the two most effective ways to do my work. Now, underplanning, overplanning, cycling between the two strategies. It's so common. And sometimes just noticing, just having the language to think about it, noticing where it's happening can be the only thing you need to make big progress. Okay, my veggie bestie, enjoy these last days of August. Start thinking about the things you want to bring with you into the fall, as well as the things you're ready to leave behind and what you want to go for in the next few weeks. And we're going to meet here next Tuesday to Veg Your Best.
Veg Your Best
podcast production, music, and editing by Charlie Weinshank. Thanks, Charlie. Before you go, it would mean so much to me and the Veg Your Best team if you would hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, or share with someone you think might be interested. Something about algorithms, it helps bump us up a little in the rankings, and that's the best way to help others find the podcast and for us to find our audience. So, until next week, make it easy and veg your best.